Hello everybody, it's Claire back with another art journal video, and this is another project for Scrap FX. I am playing in the large craft journal from Dina Wakley Media, and I am starting off, of course, with a rainbow across the centre of the page, using one of Dina's most recent release brushes as well, which are really lovely. They're lovely and soft. To paint with. Round brush, it's ever so nice. So the colours I'm using as ever are ruby, tangerine, lemon, lime, turquoise, orchid and blackberry. They make a really pretty rainbow. The turquoise can be swapped out for like sky as well. That works quite nicely too. And also, if you wanted an even more different vibe, you could use the evergreen and then lapis instead, which would then work quite nicely with the blackberry. Oh, so many ideas. Yeah, so I'm just popping this rainbow through the centre of my page. This is kind of like my starting point, really. Almost similar to sticking some collage paper in place first. So it kind of gets rid of that blank page. It's your starting point. It's where you work out from. So then I'm using the collage paper that I designed for Scrap FX. It's called Rainbow Collage. And I've just ripped that into smaller pieces, and I'm just adding that onto my page using some matte medium. You can see how thirsty these pages are. Look how it's soaking that matte medium up into the journal page. You have to work fast, otherwise it just disappears. Okay, so adding lots of pieces of collage, and that has the effect of starting to break up the edges of that journaling, the rainbow that I've added onto the page. And as you'll see, as I start to build the layers of collage paper, really that's the effect that I'm trying to go for, is to kind of soften that rainbow in the centre of the page, break it up a little bit so you can still see it partly, but there's these other areas of interest in there as well. Then I'm just going crazy with adding more little pieces in there too. I had lots of bits left on my desk from where I'd ripped them apart. And then this is like a typewriter text collage paper from Scrap FX. There are loads and loads of different text collage papers that Scrap FX do, and any of them would work perfectly here. But this is quite nice because it's on a white background. It's a little bit of a contrast, so we're getting that, as Dina would call it, that value change on the page. We've got the light and the dark working quite well together. And a little bit of pesky red paint, look, appeared from somewhere there. So yeah, just adding smaller pieces of the white in as well. Okay, so then I'm going to be using a collage image on my page as well. And I started off thinking I was going to use this one from Michelle Logan that she designed for Scrap FX. And then I ended up deciding to use a different one. So ignore that little bit. So this is the Circles Galore stencil that I also designed for Scrap FX, and I'm just going in with some white paint. So again, I'm just adding a little bit more contrast onto my page, creating some more areas of light on there too. I guess this is more of a mask than a stencil, really, this one, but I love the effect that it gives. It's one that I find myself reaching for quite a lot, partly probably because it's circles, and I do love using circles on my journal pages. So here then I've gone in with a little bit of ruby, another of the stencils that I designed. This is Circles Galore B. I'm just adding some little touches of that to the page as well. And then I'm going in with tangerine. So I'm just introducing more of those colours into the page that are in the rainbow. Okay, so this is the collage paper also designed by Michelle Logan for Scrap FX. I'm pretty sure this one is called Cressida. A little bit larger than the initial one that I was going to use. So she's going to be stuck onto the page. She's going to work quite well on here because she is a little bit bigger. And there is quite a lot of space on these journal pages too. I'm just deciding which side she's going to work best on. And then I'm going in with the graffiti stencil from Scrap FX and a little bit of black. So just bringing in a little bit of darkness to the page too. Again, just working on building up that contrast on the page. You notice I'm not doing a lot of stenciling with this. I literally am just adding a little touch here and there. And then just because I was obviously feeling lazy that day, I'm using my double-sided tape gun to stick this image onto my page. So this heart that I'm now adding some paint to is from a little set of chipboard hearts. It's called Rough Hearts set. And I'm just using the largest one from there to add onto my page. I'm using it just as another element on the page, really, just to add a little bit more interest, and because it's something different to the collage paper and the image that's on there. So you're kind of bringing more of that mixed media vibe to your journal page when you use different types of things, different types of media on your page as well. So here I've just got a piece of scrap card. I'm using a dotty stamp that I designed for Funky Fossil. I'm just stamping some of that onto there, and I've stapled the heart onto the card, and then I'm cutting it out. So I've kind of created like a little background for that heart image, and then just carefully cutting that out, and that's going to be added onto the page as well. So the Cherish chipboard is also from a little set of, I think you get 3 in the pack that have got different words on them, and that's I've added some white paint to that too. So then I was just looking to see whether I could staple it in there, whether it would interfere with anything that was on the previous page, and I did end up stapling that onto my journal page. So now I'm just cutting out some of the butterflies from the Cressida collage sheet designed by Michelle Logan, just to add those onto my page as another layer of interest. They do get a tiny bit lost on the busy background up there, and I think looking back now, it would have been nice to have just added a little bit of a white area just to stick those onto, and then they would have shown up a little bit better. I did end up giving them a bit of a shadow outline, which did help them pop out from the background a bit more. But I think a situation like that, where you're adding another collage image onto your page, if it does disappear, just get a little bit of white paint on your blending tool. You don't need a lot, and just kind of gently smoosh it around where you want your image to go, and it will just create a little bit of a calmer area for the image to sit. That's really what I should have done here, but I didn't, so it doesn't matter. So then I've added my quotes, and that cherish word is in the centre of there, and then I'm just going in and adding a little bit more definition to one side of those letters. You notice it just helps them to pop out from the background a little bit more too. So once that was completely dry, I'm then going in and adding some of my signature dots onto the page using a white pen. So the white pen, because of the contrast with the background, because I added the black stenciling, it darkened it up. So then I'm just bringing a bit more lightness to it again. It is all about building those layers. And then finally, I'm using a Signo Uniball in white. Sorry, I couldn't think. And I'm adding almost like a white shadow line to each of these letters. So it looks like it's pushing them into the background, but actually when you see it in real life, it actually does make the letters stand out a bit better. So I hope you've enjoyed watching me create this project for Scrap FX using the Cressida collage paper and lots of lovely stencils. Thanks for watching. I hope you found some inspiration, and I hope to see you again soon.